color, I took some red and I added in a little bit of white. You're also going to need a bright green and some white. So the first thing that I'm going to do is kind of flatten down the clay like so. Make sure that it is thick, and then I'm going to go in with my blade and cut it in a triangle-like shape. Then using my fingers, I'm going to kind of round off the edges so that they aren't like really harsh or pointy. I'm going to roll out the green polymer clay, flatten that using my fingers, and attach that to the triangle we just made. I'm also going to roll out a snake of the white clay and put that in between both of the colors. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about polymer clay, so I basically get all of my polymer clay from Michael's or from Amazon. You can pretty much find it at any craft store, but usually I like buying the variety packs that Sculpey has. I will try to leave a link for it down below, but you get a lot of different colors and it's also good value for money. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to add in the face. I made 2 balls of black polymer clay and I also rolled out a very thin snake of black. To turn this into a charm, you will need an eye pin. You can get this from Michael's or pretty much any craft store. You can also find these on eBay, Amazon. So I'm going to put the eye pin inside and let that bake in the oven. To add in the details, I'm using acrylic paint. You could also make the seeds using polymer clay, but I just wanted to make them using paint. Once you're all done, you can glaze your charm. I'm using this matte varnish and I'm just going to apply a very thin layer of that. And there is your completed watermelon charm. You can turn this into a keychain, a necklace, or pretty much whatever you want. The next charm that I'm going to be making is a robot. Now this is a charm that is very close to my heart because it's actually the current profile picture on my YouTube channel. So I made these charms I think about 2 years ago, and ever since I started my YouTube channel, these robots have been on my profile. So I just thought that I would make it in a tutorial today because I thought it'd be fun. So that's the story for that, but what I did is I took some silver polymer clay, rolled it out, and I'm going to cut a rectangle and a square. For the arms, I have a thin rectangle which I'm going to cut in half but in an angle like so. Now all I'm going to do is attach the head, body, arms, and for the feet I made 2 balls of pink polymer clay. I'm going to attach those on and flatten them using my fingers. Now I don't know what you call this, but I took 2 more kind of like flat circles and I'm going to attach those on. Using black polymer clay, I'm adding in the face, then I'm going to take my eye pin, put that inside, and let this bake in the oven. The last time I made this charm, the heart was actually 3D that I made using clay. But this time around, I thought I would paint it on instead. To seal it in, I'm going to again use the same varnish. And there is your completed robot charm. The next charm that I'm going to make is a pineapple, so you're going to need yellow and green for this. I'm shaping the yellow clay kind of like into an egg, and then I'm going to take my blade, you can also use a ruler for this, and I'm going to make diagonal indents like so. Next, using the green, I'm going to roll it out, cut it into equal pieces, and kind of shape it pointy like a leaf. Now you can attach all of the leaves together, cut off any extra clay, and attach it to the pineapple. As per usual, using some black clay, I'm going to add in the face. You can insert the eye pin and let that bake in the oven. Using pink acrylic paint, I added in the blush, and now I'm going to glaze the pineapple. For the next charm, I'm going to make some marshmallows. So I'm using pink, yellow, and blue. I'm going to roll out each color and cut those into small little marshmallows. Here's a fun fact for you guys. The first ever real charm that I made were actually marshmallows, and I made them like pink, and they were super easy to make, so I'm pretty much sure anyone can make this charm. So I'm going to take my eye pin now and kind of stack all 3 of the marshmallows together like so. The eye pin will help all of them stay together. To kind of give it that toasty look, I went in with some chalk pastel and I kind of added that in very lightly. Then you want to make a hole for the stick, so I'm just using a toothpick for that. And then you just want to let that bake in the oven. I have my toothpick here and I'm going to cut that down and then glue it in place. You don't want to do this beforehand or else the toothpick is going to burn in the oven. So you just want to make a hole for it and then glue it on after. This time I'm going to add in the faces using acrylic paint. Just to let you guys know, I did not glaze the marshmallows because I liked the finish. And yeah, there is the completed marshmallow charm. Now I'm going to make a nail polish bottle charm, which again, this one is so easy. I'm taking some purple polymer clay, flattening that down using my fingers, and cutting that into a rectangle-like shape. You can totally make the bottle whatever shape that you want. For the bottle cap, I'm going to make a cylinder-like shape using some white polymer clay. I'm going to attach the cap on and add in the face. Once it's done baking in the oven, I added in the details using paint. And there is your completed nail polish bottle charm. Now I'm going to make a lollipop charm. This is again something that I made in the really beginning when I started making charms. So here's a throwback picture for you guys. What I did is I took a ball of polymer clay and I flattened that down using my fingers. Now I'm going to take a cotton swab and cut it from the top and the bottom. I'm going to make a hole in the lollipop, but I'm not going to put it all the way. You just want to take that out and now you can add in the face. You don't want to put the cotton swab little stick or else that's going to burn in the oven. Insert your eye pin and let that bake in the oven. To finish it off, I'm going to glue in the stick, add on the blush, seal it in using the varnish, and that is pretty much it. The final charm that I'm going to make is a chocolate chip cookie. So I took some beige polymer clay, I'm flattening it down, and then to give it texture, I'm going to use a texturizing tool. You can also use an old toothbrush for this. Now to give it a little bit of that color, I'm going to use some brown chalk pastel and lightly dust it. As per usual, I'm going to add in the face. And then I'm going to take some brown polymer clay and add in some random chocolate chips. They don't have to be perfect whatsoever. You can put in your eye pin and let that bake in the oven. I'm sure by this point, I don't even need to tell you guys what I'm going to do next. That is pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in a comment which charm was your favorite. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I love you all so much and I will see you in my next one.